Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
Good morning, America. New accuser. A second woman coming forward alleging embattled Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax sexually assaulted her. The new calls for Fairfax to resign as he faces a threat of impeachment this morning.
Fiery testimony, the contentious hearing on Capitol Hill.
How the heck did you become the head of the Department of Justice?
The acting attorney general in the hot seat, what Matt Whitaker said about the Mueller investigation and the questions he refused to answer.
Happening right now, police manhunt the search for a disbarred lawyer on the run, skipping out on his prison sentence, and now wanted for killing his mother.
He could be anywhere. He could hurt or kill someone else at this point.
What his family is saying this morning.
New this morning, tasing lawsuit. Disturbing video showing officers tasing a man during a traffic stop with his family in the car.
Come on, you're all right, come on.
What authorities are saying about the incident.
And dangerous storm, the winter blast slamming the Pacific Northwest. Hazardous road conditions, cars skidding, buses stalled, planes grounded. What's ahead this morning?
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
All right, good morning. Let's get straight to our top story. New developments and new allegations contributing to the escalating, ongoing political dumpster fire in the state of Virginia.
Yeah, the already embattled Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax now facing a second allegation of sexual assault. There are mounting calls now for his resignation, and this morning, a threat to have him impeached.
Meanwhile, the governor, Ralph Northam, is out with a fresh vow not to resign in the face of a chorus of voices saying he needs to leave over a blackface controversy. ABC's Zachary Quiche is in Richmond covering it all. Good morning, Zachary.
Good morning to you, Eva. When someone discovered photos of Virginia Governor Ralph Northam in a dusty old yearbook, it would have been fair to assume that it would come with repercussions. But the all-out fallout around here, a list that now includes 4 men, has become unprecedented. This morning, an ultimatum for Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax after a second woman accused the politician of sexual assault in the last week.
Any message for the citizens of Virginia?
We'll have our say. I'm confident in the truth. Thank you all so much.
Virginia House Democrat Delegate Patrick Hope last night saying if Fairfax does not resign by Monday, he will introduce articles for impeachment.
I believe these women. He needs to resign immediately.
A number of politicians and organizations echoed the same message, saying it's not in the best interest for him to remain on the job. It's an incredible turn for the 39-year-old African-American husband and father. The newest alleged victim, Meredith Watson, says Fairfax raped her 19 years ago while both were students at Duke University. Speaking to Good Morning America this morning, her lawyer says
she also has documents which we have made public, an email in May of 2016 and Facebook posts later in 2016 and 17, in which she clearly says Justin Fairfax raped me.
But Fairfax releasing a statement saying, I deny this latest unsubstantiated allegation. It is demonstrably false. I have never forced myself on anyone ever. Earlier this week, Vanessa Tyson, a college professor, said Fairfax forced her to perform oral sex back in 2004. Fairfax has outright denied the allegations, telling reporters,
this is one of the most blatant examples of a smear.
Just a week ago, Fairfax was viewed as Governor Ralph Northam's replacement to lead the Commonwealth after this 1984 yearbook photo showing 2 people, one in a KKK hood and the other wearing blackface, drew loud calls for his resignation.
It's not me, and it was horrific, and the fact that it was on my page was just unacceptable.
The governor adamant he's not going anywhere. In a memo sent to state employees on Friday and obtained by ABC, Northam wrote, "You have placed your trust in me to lead Virginia forward, and I plan to do that." The turmoil leaving many Virginians wondering what's next after the third official in line, Attorney General Mark Herring, also acknowledged he wore blackface. I do need to note these are Ms. Watson's claims. We have no corroborating evidence at this time. Now, happening here in Richmond this weekend, lawmakers are home, but we do not anticipate that it will be quiet around here. Eva, Whit.
All right, thank you, Mayor. A lot to talk about. Now to that contentious testimony on Capitol Hill, Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker grilled by House Democrats.
ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is at the White House with what he said about the Mueller investigation and what he wouldn't talk about. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. It was the first opening act of what would likely be a stream of high-profile hearings into people closest to the president, and they wanted to know, the Democrats, if he had done anything in his 4-month tenure to impede the Mueller investigation.
On Capitol Hill, Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, with 1 week left on the job, grilled by members of the House Judiciary Committee.
We're all trying to figure out, who are you, where did you come from, and how the heck did you become the head of the Department of Justice?
Starring in a 6-hour heated hearing that zeroed in on his supervision of the special counsel's Russia investigations, Democrats flexing their new oversight powers into the Trump administration, and Whitaker firing right back.
In your capacity as Acting Attorney General, have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special counsel?
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes is up, and so I'm here voluntarily.
Before becoming the nation's top law enforcer, Whitaker criticized Robert Mueller's investigation into possible campaign collusion with Russia, but now claiming since assuming his current role as acting attorney general that he has done nothing to hinder the probe.
There has been no event, no decision that has required me to take any action, and I have not interfered in any way with the special counsel's investigation. I have not talked to the President of the United States about the special counsel's investigation.
And while vowing to tell the truth, refusing to say whether he spoke to the president about a case outside of the Mueller investigation, a campaign finance probe into Trump's longtime lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen.
I want to know whether you talked to President Trump at all about the Southern District of New York's case involving Michael Cohen.
Congresswoman, as I've mentioned several times today, I am not going to discuss my private conversations with the President of the United States.
Republicans claiming the marathon trial was all for show.
Bring your popcorn. I'm thinking about maybe we just set up a popcorn machine in the back, because that's what this is becoming.
Whitaker's successor, William Barr, will likely be confirmed in the next week, but this hearing was more of a warning shot from Democrats if they sense any meddling into the Russia investigation. Dan?
Tara, thank you so much. Let's talk now to our ringer, ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, who's coming to us from Texas. So, Matthew, you heard there in Tara's piece, Republicans saying, let's set up a popcorn machine. This is a circus. Any truth to that allegation, or do you think actually we learned some important, substantial things here?
Well, maybe instead of a circus, I would call it a bazaar because of the tone and the way the manner with which it was conducted. Substantively, I don't think we learned much of anything in this because the Whitaker would refuse to answer the questions. But tonally, I think we learned a lot. I think we learned what Matt Whitaker thinks of the Congress, and then by extension, what the president thinks of this Congress. I've often said that the president is not upset with Nancy Pelosi or the Congress. He's upset with James Madison because he doesn't like the checks and balances. For 2 years, he had a Congress that didn't ask the questions or the tough questions. Now he has a Democratic establishment and Democratic members who are asking the tough questions of him and his cabinet.
But it looks like these tough questions that you mentioned, we could be hearing a lot of them in hearings like the one we saw yesterday over the next 2 years. Is it possible that the Democrats run the risk of overdoing it here?
Yeah, it's very possible. I think the chairman of the committee, Jerry Nadler, I think handled it very well. And I think his demeanor and the way he engaged was very well done. But I think some of the other members, I think, pushed it too far. And I think Democrats have to be really careful that the American public doesn't look at this whole thing and say nothing's functional, it's not working. And so, yes, I think the Democrats have to be careful on how they do this. I think they're aware of that. But sometimes when people get on stage and theater takes effect, they go too far.
So speaking of dysfunction, let's loop back to our top story, Virginia, where we have the 3 top officials in the state under assault. All of them are staying in their jobs for now. But where do you think we're heading with this thing? Can all 3 of these men tough it out and stay in office?
Well, you know, as I've watched this, it's like a game of Survivor where the tribal council votes somebody off and they don't leave the island. and none of these three seem willing to leave the island, even though there have been demands on many of them, almost all of them, to leave. I think what is likely to happen, because of the allegations against the lieutenant governor of sexual assault, I think the most likely scenario is that he steps down. I think we now have 2 women in this who have made valid allegations of sexual assault, but I think nobody knows where this goes from here. It looks like the governor has dug in, and he's not going to leave, but it is a, talk about a bizarre situation. Virginia is a bizarre situation.
He's dug in, and with so many people calling for him to resign, it's unclear who's going to be able to work with going forward. Matthew Dowd, thank you, and we're disappointed you didn't reference Deuce Bigalow 2 this morning, but we'll deal with it. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Survivor in. I got
Yes, you did.
Survivor
You
in.
did.
I got Survivor in.
Credit where it's due.
I will.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it.
We always appreciate the Matt Dowd references, pop culture
yes, we
as
do.
well. All right, turning to other news, though, this morning, President Trump getting his annual health checkup. Dr. Sean Conley, his personal physician, saying the president is in very good health, but stopping short of releasing any details of the 4-hour exam. After a health assessment last year, the president was told to step up the exercise and cut the calories. No word if he followed the doctor's orders.
Well, turning to an intense manhunt underway this morning for a disbarred attorney who police say killed his mother when he was supposed to be starting a prison sentence on other charges.
With the suspect now on the run, the witnesses who testified against him during his trial are now saying they fear for their lives. ABC's Ariel Reshef is in the studio and on the story. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. It's the shocking case that has authorities now hunting for answers. A disbarred lawyer accused of brutally murdering his own mother before taking off.
This morning, that nationwide manhunt for a disbarred lawyer turned fugitive, accused of killing his own mother. Richard Merritt, considered armed and dangerous, seen here in an old commercial.
Obviously, my practice is very grassroots.
His brother speaking to ABC News overnight, calling for Merritt to turn himself in.
Now, you certainly need to be held accountable for the brutal murder of our mother.
The 44-year-old sentenced to 30 years behind bars after pleading guilty to stealing money from clients and elder abuse. Last Friday, Merritt was supposed to turn himself into a Georgia jail, but instead,
At some point in that time frame, he killed his mother and went on the run.
authorities say Merritt fatally stabbed his own mother, Shirley, seen here in a memorial page created by her family. Then allegedly cut off his ankle monitor and took off in her Lexus.
What I want is justice for Shirley Merritt, and I want him to pay for what he's done.
Former clients like Tina Saylor, who testified against Merritt during his trial, fearing possible retaliation, telling ABC News his ankle monitor was in Cartersville, Georgia, which is 15 minutes up the road from me. Right now, we're all kind of scared. So far, investigators say there's no evidence of a hit list.
He could be anywhere. We think he may be anywhere in the country.
Now, his brother tells ABC News overnight Merritt should never have been given 2 weeks to report back to jail. He believes, guys, all of this could have been avoided and their mother may still be alive.
Wow, bizarre story.
It is.
Ariel, thank you. We do want to turn now to a disturbing video coming to light during a traffic stop in Arizona.
The Glendale Police Department facing a lawsuit for what happened after they pulled a car over.
This morning, newly released body cam video obtained by affiliate KNXV showing the dramatic encounter involving police officers in Glendale, Arizona, and a man they tased during a traffic stop. The man and his family now suing the department. Police say the July 2017 incident started with a turn signal violation.
Nobody has their ID on them? No. Anything with your name on it?
The passenger, Johnny Wheatcroft, his 6- and 11-year-old sons, and their mother in the back seat.
Okay, I don't want you stuffing anything down in between the seat like you're doing. Relax.
The officers concerned he's hiding evidence. The situation dramatically escalates.
Mark, stay down, buddy.
Officers deploying their tasers, struggling to get Wheatcroft into handcuffs, the struggle lasting for several minutes. Wheatcroft's attorney saying his client was tased 11 times in a lawsuit calling the incident unlawful, unprovoked, unwarranted, unjustified, callous, depraved, vicious, and evil. Police saying the officer deployed his taser after they say Wheatcroft's wife hit his partner in the head.
And in a statement, Glendale police say they've reviewed the officer's actions, and one of them was disciplined in a letter obtained by our affiliate KNXV. He was suspended for 30 hours without pay for what the department called gross negligence. Wheatcroft and his wife were both charged with aggravated assault. Court records show she pled guilty to a lesser charge. In the lawsuit, Wheatcroft's attorney says all the charges against his client were dismissed. But hard video to watch,
Really?
no matter what.
Absolutely wrenching video. Let's move on now to the tense standoff along the border with Venezuela. Embattled President Nicolas Maduro blocking American humanitarian aid trucks from entering the country, which is in crisis. ABC's Victor Oquendo has the latest from the Colombian side of that border. Victor.
Good morning, Dan. Interim President Juan Guaido moving forward, announcing that over the weekend, the opposition will be organizing volunteers to get that desperately needed humanitarian aid into the country. We got a first-hand look at the U.S.-led efforts. 9 truckloads filled with food and basic essentials like diapers, toothpaste, and medical supplies held up at a warehouse right here in Cúcuta, Colombia, blocked from entering Venezuela by the Nicolas Maduro regime. Directly outside that warehouse, a highway connecting the two countries blocked by shipping containers and a tanker. Maduro calling the U.S. aid a humiliation and calling for sanctions to be lifted. Meanwhile, Venezuelans continue suffering with a crippling economy and a shortage of supplies, left with no choice but to cross this nearby border for food and medicine on an almost daily basis. But now the big question is, what happens next? The U.S. promising to deliver more than $20 million in humanitarian aid, Guaido vowing to get it into the country, but for now, the majority of those supplies remain in limbo as this crisis continues. Eva?
All right, thanks, Victor. And a dangerous winter storm pounding the northwest this morning, causing whiteout conditions.
That's right. It was in the northeast last week. Now the northwest. Rob Marciano here with the very latest. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Really, the entire west coast, rain across San Francisco, Los Angeles, and snow down to the lower elevations of some of the mountains outside of L.A. But yes, it's the northwest that's really bearing the brunt of this. Portland seeing rain turn to snow. It's been all snow in Seattle overnight, causing all sorts of problems. This is a rare second punch of snow this week for Seattle, and they call it the Emerald City, but this morning it is covered in white.
Overnight, the Northwest slammed again by another winter storm, bringing near whiteout conditions in Seattle. The wintry mass of heavy snow and ice blanketing parts of Washington, backing up rush hour traffic for miles.
2 hours on 5 to get home.
It's bad. Cars like this one left abandoned as slippery roads and visibility become a huge issue for drivers. Wind gusts reaching up to 45 miles per hour in some areas, bringing down trees and blocking roads. Drivers stranded and some forced to pull over. Watch as several people help push this car along an icy road. And take a look at this truck that needed to be chained up and pulled out. Major highways closed down due to collisions like this one. And this bus stuck, struggling to get moving. The driver eventually giving up, needing some help to get back on the street. The storm hitting the Seattle metro area the hardest, with more than 6 inches of snow dumping on the city. Planes grounded at the Seattle-Tacoma airport, with hundreds of flights delayed or canceled.
Seattle is pretty far north, but it has a climate that's very similar to London. Snow of this magnitude is very rare, and we're seeing upwards of 8 to 10 inches in some of the hills just outside of the city. So, and they're very well equipped to handle it. You're seeing it's still snowing up there. Again, Portland's going to see some snow as well. And the Sierra Nevada, on top of what they had all last week, we'll see more in the way of significant snow. This all drifts down to the south, and yeah, it looks like Tahoe will get another 3, 4, maybe 5 feet of snow, and there's another pulse that will be coming down tomorrow night into Tuesday, and another one after that. So we have numerous warnings and watches that are posted for this area, including some wind watches down to the south, and we're looking for significant snow again across the Sierra. For Hawaii, you have yourself a situation as well. 2 big areas of high pressure. This low is going to take an unusual dive into Polynesia, and we're going to see probably some significant coastal damage here to piers and boats, waves up to 40 feet high. My goodness. That's checking what's going on the West Coast. Time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. What a difference a day makes. We were hanging in the 50s to near 60 degrees much of yesterday. But today, a lot different highs, reaching the upper 30s this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. We will still have a bit of a breeze out there out of the northwest around 10 to 15 miles per hour. It'll make it feel colder. Tomorrow, a bit of a change. Temperatures a little bit milder into the lower 40s, maybe even the mid 40s south of town. We will have the possibility for a light wintry mix. That mix will continue into early next week. Back near 50 Wednesday.
Seattle also about the same latitude as Boston, which has relatively nothing as far as snow goes. When Seattle gets more snow than Boston, you know it's a